So hello everyone. Today we will learn about gametogenesis. From the name only we can understand that gametogenesis means the formation of gametes. So what are gametes? Gametes are specialized sex organs, sex cells, not organs. Specialized sexed cells. And the primary sex organs are the testes and the ovaries. Okay. So naturally formation of a gamete in a testis or ovaries no it will be called as gametogenesis. Gametogenesis two types: spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So names only makes us understand that spermatogenesis is in the male and oogenesis is in the female. So we all will be aware about this. So, in testis, immature male germ cells, that is spermatogonia, which we already learned, produce sperm, and the process is called known as spermatogenesis. That begins at puberty. This is very important. Spermatogenesis begins only at puberty. Puberty means when the male attains the age of 10 to 12 years of age, where they develop secondary sexual characters, that is known as the puberty. So that is when spermatogenesis occurs. On the other hand, when you study about oogenesis, you will come to know that it has already started when the girl was in the mother's womb. That is when the girl was of fetal stage. In the fetal stage itself, the ovary has developed all the oocytes. So that is the major difference in the spermatogenesis and the oogenesis. First, spermatogenesis occurs in male in the testis, and oogenesis occurs in female in the ovary. Then other next difference is spermatogenesis starts at puberty, oogenesis starts in the fetal stage itself. So we'll first study about spermatogenesis better, then we'll read about oogenesis. So these terms spermatogonia, spermatocyte, spermatid, spermatozoa and sperm, all this is very important because this is always asked in the MCQ. So we have to remember, and we have to not just by heart it, but we should understand by the term itself. We should be able to visualize what it is. So we already learned about spermatogonia. Spermatogonia is also known as the male germ cell, and it is found in the seminiferous tubules inside the testis. Okay, so spermatogonia, the male germ cells, they multiply by mitotic as well as meiotic divisions. I already told mitotic divisions to increase the number. Okay, and by meiosis they form their germ cell, that is a gamete. So the question is asked that spermatogenesis is only meiosis, only mitosis, or both mitosis and meiosis. The answer will be both mitosis and meiosis. So spermatogonium is a diploid cell. Okay, it is a diploid cell. That means it has 46 chromosomes. So 46 chromosomes should become 23 chromosomes because the gametes have 23 chromosomes only, half they are haploid. So that is the whole process of gametogenesis. So spermatogonia, what happens, it matures into a primary spermatocyte. Okay, primary spermatocyte. Then the primary spermatocyte will complete its first meiotic division, that is the reduction division, and it will form two secondary spermatocyte, that will be 23 chromosomes. Okay, and this is very important, they form two equal haploid cells known as the secondary spermatocytes that has 23 chromosomes. So that means one spermatogonia forms one primary spermatocyte. One primary spermatocyte by meiosis 1 will form two equal secondary spermatocytes. Okay, then the secondary spermatocytes will undergo second meiosis and will form four spermatids. Okay, four equals haploid spermatids. So it became haploid at the secondary spermatocyte level only. This was also 46. This became 23. Okay, and this become 24 into 23. So 4 spermatids, and 4 spermatids will transform into 4 spermatozoa. Okay, and that process is known as spermiogenesis. So this process is here, the conversion is known as spermiogenesis. This is very important because you can be always confused by all these terms. Spermiogenesis is conversion from spermatid to spermatozoa. Spermatozoa is also known as the sperm. And after spermiogenesis, that means after the formation of sperm, the sperm head get embedded in the Sertoli cells. We already learned about Sertoli cells. These are cells along with around the seminiferous tubule, which provide nutrition to the sperm and the germ cells. Okay, so these sperms, they go ahead and attach to the Sertoli cell. We can see the head gets attached here, and then when they are finally released from the seminiferous tubules by the process of spermiation. So the release of the spermatid head from the Sertoli cell and from the seminiferous tubule to the other tubule, that is known as the spermiation. So we should not confuse between spermiation and spermiogenesis or spermatogenesis. Okay. So already we learned spermatogenesis starts at the age of puberty. Why it occurs at puberty is because of the secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone. So many new terms we are learning. Gonadotropin releasing hormone, that is also known as GnRH. It is a hypothalamic hormone. So what is hypothalamus? Hypothalamus is, this is, suppose this is the brain. This is the cut section from the middle of the brain. Okay, and this is the midway part, that is a corpus callosum. The brain, I am not very good at drawing. Here we will have the cerebellum. This is the cerebrum. Then we will have pons, medulla, spinal cord. Okay, so somewhere here there will be a thalamus here. Then this part will be the hypothalamus. Just below the hypothalamus we will have the anterior pituitary, and by a stalk there will be a posterior pituitary. So these are glands basically. Okay, hypothalamus is a gland, and pituitary, posterior pituitary and anterior pituitary. So these are glands. So what does hypothalamus basically do is, it is very small. It is size of an almond, that is badam, size of a badam only. So this hypothalamus is so important. It controls the whole homeostasis of the body. That means it controls the temperature, food, thirst, hunger, blood pressure, everything of the body is controlled by the hypothalamus. So it if there is any, it gets any sensation of any type of imbalance in the body, then hormones are released, and the body achieves homeostasis accordingly. Okay, so this is the function of a hypothalamus. So hypothalamus has certain hormones like growth releasing hormone, gonadotropin releasing hormone, corticoid releasing hormone, thyrotropin releasing hormone. So all these hormones will act on the pituitary gland, that is anterior or posterior pituitary, mostly anterior pituitary, and it will release certain other pituitary hormones which will directly affect the organs and generate the balance in the body. So like GnRH, okay, GnRH is from the hypothalamus. So it will act on our anterior pituitary, and it will release two pituitary hormone, that is follicles, FSH and LH. Okay, so already we studied Leydig cells. So this LH will go and affect the Leydig cells in the, what is Leydig cell? Leydig cells in the testis, and which release androgen. And FSH will, Leydig cell or testis, okay, and FSH will act on the ovary, and it will release the ovarian hormones. So this is how our hormones control our gametogenesis. So in the male we are learning about the male. So this is how the gonadotropin releasing hormone acts on the pituitary, anterior pituitary, and it releases the luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone, and LH will act on the Leydig cell and stimulate the androgen, and androgen will contribute to spermatogenesis. FSH will act on the Sertoli cell. So, okay, FSH will also act on the Sertoli cell and will also affect help in spermiogenesis. What was spermiogenesis? Spermiogenesis was conversion of spermatid to spermatozoa, that is maturation. We already studied that Sertoli cell helps in the nutrition of cells, so with the nutrition it will help in the maturation also. So we'll study about the structure of a sperm. This is very important because it can be asked to in exam. Structure of a sperm. So it is very easy to draw. So sperm is one singular cell. So like every cell it will have a plasma membrane. So it is fully covered by a plasma membrane. So it has three parts, that is head, neck, middle piece and tail. Four parts. Okay. So plasma membrane covering whole cell. So above the head there is a plasma membrane we studied. Head contains an elongated haploid nucleus, and anterior to the portion is covered by a cap-like structure known as acrosome. Acrosome is filled with enzymes that help in the fertilization of ovum. So plasma membrane. So head has the nucleus, and it is haploid nucleus 23N. Okay. Then it has a cap-like structure known as the acrosome. Acrosome is basically the Golgi apparatus of the cell. Then there's neck. Then it has the middle portion, that is the filled with mitochondria. Middle portion has mitochondria because it needs energy for the movement. And then tail. Okay. And acrosome has some enzymes which will help in fertilization, because acrosome is the first structure which goes and strike to the ovum. So it needs enzymes so that it can penetrate the ovum and it can cause fertilization. So sperm motility is basically by the movement of tail. Okay, tail. So it is important. And this is also important. Human male ejaculates about 200 to 300 million sperm during coitus, of which for normal fertility at least 60% of sperm must have normal shape and size, and at least 40% of them will show vigorous motility. So 60-40, 60 normal shape size, 40 vigorous motility, that is needed for a normal fertility in a male. And in one ejaculate there will be 200 to 300 million sperm. Okay, this is like a lot of amount. Then sperm is released from the seminiferous tubule and it goes to the retroteste epididymis, retroteste vasa efferentia, retroteste epididymis, vas deferens, and then finally into the ejaculatory duct. Okay, we should keep revising, even I am also forgetting. So secretion of epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicle and prostate and all are required for maturation and motility of sperm. So maturation, motility, all this is also affected by the secretions from all these parts. So seminal vesicle, seminal plasma with the sperm is known as the semen. Okay, then we'll come and study the oogenesis. Okay, so I already told some things about oogenesis before. So a mature female gamete formation is known as oogenesis, and it is very different from spermatogenesis.